I'll kill you like I killed your father! Oh, hi! Welcome to CALV'S Tales of Fictitious Events, Season 2, Episode 1. Chris goes over the rainbow. Let's get fucking started! Ha ha ha! Chris was on his way to the roller disco to meet up with his two groovy friends, Melted Cheese Fitzgibbons and Megalodon Jones. He was whistling the tune to Sister Sister when all of a sudden a drunk man dressed like Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz approached him and cried out, "Fucking hell, bro! Fucking lions and tigers and fucking bears, oh my! Better move out of the way, mate, before they bite your bollocks off." The Dorothy Gale man vomited down his shirt and then began to urinate all over the cobbled street. "Hey, look, bruv! Yellow brick road, innit? But it's not, look, it's fucking piss and sick, ha 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 ha," said the prick. Chris had had enough of this Judy Garland looking motherfucker, so he reached into his jacket and pulled out a cheese grater. And with some fucking Winter Soldier fucking moves and shit, he sliced the man's nipples off without making a hole in the dress. "Ah! Fucking hell!" shouted the Judy Garland man. "My precious nips! Why have you done this to me? I was off to see the wizard." "You can fuck off home and sober up, you pissed up slag, and stop pissing and puking in the fucking streets," shouted Chris. The Judy Garland bitch looked down at her blood-stained garments. She immediately fainted and scorpioned right into the river. Chris thought, "Holy shit, man! He's gonna drown!" So Chris thought to himself, "What should I do? I've got to help somehow. Eureka! I have the solution." He hopped on his tartan unicycle and pedalled at fractured neck speed to the local Lidl. Lidl. He purchased some ready Brek, a bowl, and, of course, a spoon. He rushed back to the river and saw the Somewhere Over the Rainbow tart still splashing about. It was actually really funny. He popped his ready Brek into the microwave that all riverbanks have, and then, when it was at perfect temperature, he reached out to Judy Garland and shouted, "Eat the ready Brek!" "Help! I can't swim," said Judy. "Eat the ready Brek!" shouted Chris. I'm fucking drowning, you blockhead! Give me a fucking rope! Shouted Judy. But first, said Chris, you must eat the Brek. Judy managed to doggy paddle over to the bowl. She opened her mouth, and she could just reach far enough that Chris spoon-fed her a mouthful, to which she immediately cried out, "Ah! What the fuck, man? There's fucking broken glass in here, you maniac!" "Yes, that's a funny joke, isn't it?" said Chris through tears of laughter as he rolled back onto the riverbank, laughing hysterically. While the Dorothy Gale bloke sank to the bottom of the river with a face full of broken glass, Chris stopped laughing at his practical joke and realized he had in fact laughed so much that he had soiled himself all the way through to the outside of his jeans. He got up quickly and began to run, but then he accidentally tripped over a measuring jug full of hot scalding gravy, and he fell, balls first, into a decorative ninja star display stand, sending the whole thing crashing to the ground in a mess of steel, blood and shit. Chris shit himself a second time. This was largely due to the fact that he had a ninja star lodged in his anus, and he had had a large breakfast. A man who was juggling crockery approached and said, "Bloody hell, son, you made a right mess of that display in my day." But before he could finish, Chris leapt onto him in a blind rage and began to beat him most savagely with a courgette that he had found in his pants. "I ain't taken no shit from no crockery juggler," shouted Chris, when from out of nowhere Melted Cheese Fitzgibbons appeared out of nowhere, flinging baby bells at people. He realized, all of a sudden, he had been in the sun too long, and Melted Cheese Fitzgibbons melted right into the cobbled path almost immediately. Like he showed up and immediately. A car screeched up and shouted, "Get in!" It was Megalodon Jones in his parcel van, and Chris hopped on the roof and started doing backflips like Michael J. Fox in Teen Wolf and shit. "Cheers, Sharky," said Chris. 17 plates to the head was starting to smart a bit. That happened during the duel. We're not listening. "Don't you fucking worry, buddy's no problem and not a problem. Don't you worry's no problem," said Megalodon Jones. "By the way," asked Chris, "what stinks of shit?" "Well, that's I expect, said Megalodon Jones, "being that you are covered in piss and fucking shit. But it may also be my mate in the back there, Zombie Breath Cliff. You see, Zombie Breath Cliff has zombie's breath." Zombie Breath Cliff leant forwards out of the shadows and said, "Hello!" and green mist full of skulls and shit exited his gob and wafted around the interior of the parcel van. The smell was so bad, Chris hurled himself out of a moving van, as he thought the sharp kiss of tarmac may be preferable to inhaling what smells like Johnny Depp's neckerchief. He landed on the riverbank, and just as he started to recall something really funny had happened here, that thought-to-be-dead Judy Garland dude leapt out of the water, spitting glass and ready Brek everywhere, and cried out, "Revenge! I will have my revenge!" Chris, yet again, held up another bowl of oats and exclaimed, "Eat the ready Brek!" The Judy Garland bloke thought to herself, maybe he's on the level this time. Maybe it really is delicious sugar, oats and milk. She took one bite and immediately cried out, "Ah! Oh! 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 Why? It's broken glass again!" And she once again sank to the bottom, and Chris remained on the riverbank and laughed for the rest of the afternoon. And then at midnight he burnt his clothes and walked home nude just for the thrill. Join me next time for episode 2. Which was good, wasn't it? I'll see you next time.